May we please politely ask both teams to please return to their benches for our short ceremony.
Live from the Humber College North Campus, we have women's OCAA basketball. We have a special presentation here before our matchup between the Hawks and the Mountaineers. Please direct your attention to center court.
Because they are out there doing the same thing.
Because last time,
they challenged me.
Pushed me harder than I thought possible.
I don't know anything about them.
I don't know their background.
I don't know who they love,
like, or date. I don't know what God they believe in.
Or what letter they have
on their ID.
But what I do know is
they were good.
They were good.
That's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here.
I am here.
I'm here.
I am here.
I am here.
That's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here. I'm here to play.
Wonderful, touching video being shown here at the North Campus. And now let us enjoy the presentation.
Featuring the Mohawk Mountaineers and your Humber Hawks. Tonight will feature a partnership between Humber Athletics and Humber's LGBTQ+ Resource Center. I now would like to introduce some key people who play a part in tonight's ceremony. Jen McMillan, Dean of Students, Student Success and Engagement. Ray Chateau, Athletic Director. Michael Kopenak, Associate Athletic Director. Natalie Alicia, Student Diversity and Inclusion Initiatives Coordinator. Students of the LGBTQ Resource Center, Kara Bocha and Fadoma Hassan. Brianna Donaldson of the women's softball team. And captains of your Humber Hawks, Jill Semple and Alina Domingo. I would now like to call upon Jen McMillan, Dean of Students, Student Success and Engagement, to say a few words.
Ashamed, worried, sad, angry, defeated, scared. Those are all the things I remember feeling when I experienced my first hate crime. I wasn't yet 23 years old. A around the same age as many of these players here tonight. I had my first full-time job on university campus in Ontario. I was also in my first real relationship with a woman, and we were committed to being out. We were going to make a difference. In our idealistic way, I think we thought it would be simple, maybe even celebrated. Then came our wake-up call. First, I received an email describing acts of violence against me. Next, our home was targeted by vandals. Finally, hateful and violent graffiti was scrawled at my workplace. I share this only to answer the question that I imagine some of the people might be asking right now. Why are we doing this tonight? Over the 20 years of my career working on college and university campuses, I've had the opportunity to speak with thousands of students about leadership and issues of diversity. And sometimes I tell them that story. And I'll be honest with you that within the last 10 years, I've wondered whether I still need to anymore. So much has changed, and so many young people are shocked by the things that I described. However, recent events in our world remind me, sadly, that we do need to keep telling our stories, the bad and the good. At that time in my life, the Ontario government was actively fighting the legalization of same-sex marriage. I never knew whether that would be an option for me. Today, I'm married and one of two moms to three beautiful little boys. Oliver is 5 and our twins, Liam and Zachary, are 2.5. So now you know why I look so tired. These three little boys have been known to run around our house proudly chanting, "I have two moms. I have two moms." For them, it is simple. They know they are loved. They know that they are protected. Inclusion is a revolution. What I realized from those early experiences with hate is that its true power lies in the fact that it makes people give up. It makes people stop trying. And we refuse to give in to that. At Humber, we celebrate who our students are every day, and we consider our diversity to be one of our greatest strengths. When this world gets complicated and people seem to struggle with the simple concepts of acceptance, I look to our students. I look to these young leaders here today who said, "Yeah, give me that warm-up shirt, I'll wear it. Yes, put me in that video. I want to be a part of this." And that is why I have great hope for our future. But for their sake, as well as the sake of my children, I will keep telling my story. And I will keep participating in events like this. And I hope that you will too. I would like to thank the Mohawk Mountaineers for their support in this important event and allowing us to do this tonight. These athletes here tonight, and ones like them all over this country, should be measured based on their talent, their tenacity, and their sportsmanship, not their orientation or their identity. They are here to play, and they make us proud. Thank you for being here tonight. And now I would like to call up all of these folks, all of our students, Ray, Mike, Nat, to unveil our new banner.
Institute, Sydney Riley. May you all please rise and remove your hats.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to BRTV. We've got an OCA women's basketball matchup between the #1 seeded Humber Hawks and the #3 Mohawk Mountaineers. I'm Josh Rawlings, alongside me is Stephen Boyles. We've got a great matchup between these two teams, and we are hashtag here to play tonight. And Stephen, what are your thoughts on the matchup as a whole?
Definitely going to be an exciting matchup. I can't talk enough about this freshman from Mohawk, Sam Pockernick. She has been an absolute monster all season long, averaging more than 17 points and 45% from the floor. She's been unbelievable.
And then on the other end, Mohawk should be careful, should be scared. They've got the reigning OCA Women's Player of the Year up against them, and Coach of the Year as well.
I just keep going back to it, but I can't talk about CJ Nofuente enough. Honestly, she is unbelievable. We saw a few weeks ago, she put up a career-high 40 points, and it was just an unbelievable afternoon to take in. Those two going toe-to-toe today should be an incredible matchup.
And it's definitely going to be one to keep mind of. Keep an idea of where they are on the court, as they're going to be a big matchup between the two, as the Hawks are seeded #1. They've won 91 home games straight. 91, yes, that is a true number. And on the other end, Mohawk sitting #3 could pose a big threat. What can Mohawk do here today to shut down the Hawks?
I think you have to pay attention to that really dynamic offense that the Hawks put out on the court. I'm talking about Leticia Lopez, I'm talking about Alina Domingo, and again, CJ Nofuente. It is just a team that is star-studded, and if they can shut down those three, they're gonna force the bench to perform.
As you can see, the West standings, Humber #1 up top with 8-0, and Mohawk 6-2, not far behind. St. Clair biting on the tails of Humber there, 7-2. Pretty close division right there.
It is absolutely log-jammed at the top.
And that's not any coincidence at all. Those are three of the most talented teams in the OCAA right up there. As we can see some of the players warming up. Mohawk, yep, definitely needs to shut down that offense. And on the other end, what can Humber do to continue forward this 91 game streak? Maybe push it to 92 home games won in a row.
I think they just have to keep doing the things that they've done so far that have given them the success they have. Rotating the ball, keeping the defense on their toes, and not giving up anything at the other end of the floor. Their ability to steal errant passes and to keep the pressure throughout the entire game is just unbelievable.
Definitely one thing to keep in mind for Mohawk as they try and shut down this team. Hard to beat, 8-0, undefeated at home. 92 games. As starting lineups will be coming in a few minutes.
They lay it all on the line.
So quick notes before the starting lineups here, Stephen. Hawks have won 25 consecutive games at home. Their last loss at home was to Mohawk on January 16, 2014. A little juicy right there. Hawks have been ranked as the #1 program in the country for 6 consecutive weeks. And the Hawks have outscored opponents by an average of 27.6 points per game this season, top in the OCAA. I mean, with those 3 things in mind, Stephen, what is Mohawk going to do to repeat that success they had on January 16, 2014?
Well, could it be fate?
Yeah,
could it be
could
fate?
be.
These two teams matching up again with 25 on the line. I mean, this couldn't be a better story. I just can't wait to see them go at it. It's going to be unbelievable.
It's going to be a great matchup between these two teams. Starting lineups coming in a few quick seconds here on BRTV.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next here at the Humber Athletic Center. As we get set for this regular season matchup between the Mohawk Mountaineers and your Humber Hawks. Tonight's starting lineup is the Mohawk Mountaineers. Okay, beautiful. Wearing number 11, a 6'7", Hunter Jones. Wearing number 13, a 5'6", Tom Hamilton, wearing number 15, a 5'4" guard, Tom Hamilton, Stephanie Hunter. Wearing number 22, a 5'5" guard, from Dundas, Shannon O'Neill. Wearing number 34, a 5'11" forward, from Dundas, Jasmine Houston. Your head coach, Kevin Dunn. Wearing number 5, a 5'10" forward from Toronto, Alina Domingo.
it is right there. Starting lineups for both teams. If you didn't hear, for the Hawks, you have Alina Domingo, Leticia Lopez, Jill Semple, Amber Bayshard, and CJ Nofuente, the formidable five. And on the other end for the Mohawk Mountaineers, Hunter Johns, Clarissa Brown, Stephanie Rymack, as well as Jasmina Kusic. We have an interesting matchup, differently size-wise, as we have. You can see right there is Semple definitely towering over the size of the Mountaineers right there.
Well, I think that there's actually a good chance for Hunter Johns to walk away with some rebounds here today. It's not going to be what Semple's used to, and I can't wait to see the matchup.
Hawks win the tip-off as CJ Nofuente handles the ball. Big threat right there. Dumps it inside to Domingo. Swings it back out to Nofuente. Handling it is Nofuente.
You can see that already the Mountaineers are pressing hard on defense, not giving an inch.
Good pass right there by Nofuente, and the easy layup there for Alina Domingo for the first points of the game. Hawks are on the board, 2-zip with 9:37 left in the first half as Rymack handles. Rymack swing over to Johns. Oh, but fumbles it to the hands of CJ Nofuente as Nofuente handles it. Oh, but it's stolen back as Kusic takes it coast to coast and scores the bucket. 2-2 all the score. Wow, interesting series of events to begin with.
A very uncharacteristic giveaway by Nofuente there. Let's see if she can clean up her act here in the first quarter.
Dumped inside to Semple. Semple handling. Swing to Amber Bayshard. Dish back to Semple. Up top for Nofuente, but a bad pass and a fumble there by the Mountaineers. Lost an easy break right there, and that was Clarissa Brown with the fumble, unfortunately.
The Mountaineers are showing tons of energy here early. They're going to have to keep that up, not burn themselves out, because there's no chance that these Hawks are going to let up.
Speaking of high energy, they're pressing all the way up the court. Interesting strategy to see already in the first quarter as Nofuente handles the inbound. With the baseball pass to Domingo, wide open. She sets herself up. But the shot clock expires. That's good defense there by the Mountaineers.
That pass was just out of reach to Domingo. They may have gotten away with one there, playing an over-aggressive full-court press.
Brown handles the inbound. Swing over to Rymack. Inside to O'Neal. Back out to Johns. Over to Rymack. O'Neal dribbling. Oh, swings it inside for Kusic, but it's no good.
Just a little bit out of reach there for Kusic, but again, the Hawks gave up a little bit of space on the inside. They're gonna have to pay attention to those backdoor passes.
Inbounds play is no good as it's stolen by the Mountaineers. The nice pass fake there by Hunter Johns, but unsuccessful to follow up on the layup as Leticia Lopez brings it up the court, and Jill Semple, underlegs it a little bit. And the scuffle leads to the out of bounds. And it's gonna be Mountaineers ball. Interesting series of events happening early here, Stephen.
Well, it really looks like both teams are eager to set the tone early, and it's cost some turnovers, but you gotta love the energy out there.
Absolutely, as these two teams keep going at it. The J by the Mountaineers is no good. We're rebounded by Domingo, showing off that signature hustle. But the locking of hands leads to the jump ball and possession for the Mountaineers.
And you can tell that both teams maybe now are going to want to settle things down just a little bit. They're turning the ball over, they're making little mistakes, and you can't let that happen and get away from you early in the game.
Rymack tries to go up, but swings it instead into the interior of the layup, no good. And again, it seems like another jump ball coming on for against the Hawks. Oh, sorry. No, it's looking like a hold against the Mountaineers. A tight defense is definitely affecting Humber's offense.
They are, and if they can keep this up the whole game, I mean, it's going to be tough. They're not giving these Hawks an inch.
Semple with the inbound. Over to Domingo. Domingo handles the ball up the court. Back to Nofuente. Back to Domingo. Bayshard on the wing. Nofuente says, I want it. But Domingo wanted it more. The pull-up J at the top of the key is good for Alina Domingo. That's her second point of the game. And the Hawks are up 4-2.
Great of Nofuente to realize that Domingo was open and she wasn't going to be able to get to the basket. Excellent to get your teammates involved like that.
Rymack swings it over to Brown. Up, no good. Semple handling the rebound. Oh, the fumbled pass right there by Nefuente went off of her leg and out of bounds. You can see the frustration on CJ's face.
Did you see that man-to-man defense right there? She was just right with her every single step. There was no way she was getting that pass.
Great exterior defense, so to say, for the Mountaineers. Ball stopped at the top of the court, but it's swinging around, and the Mountaineers somehow keep possession of it. The extra hustle, interior pass is stolen by CJ Nefuente. She's taking it all the way up the court herself, coast to coast. No bucket, but the harm.
Vintage CJ Nefuente picking off that pass, taking it the length of the floor. Just such a heads-up play.
Hard to beat the defense of CJ Nefuente and these Humber Hawks. The substitutions are coming on for the Mohawk Mountaineers.
CJ Nefuente.
Both Sam Pockernick and as well as Karina Brown checked in. Now her sister Clarissa Brown was already in the game. A little confusing, we'll have to clarify between the two players. Nefuente misses the first and hits the second. Hawks are up 5-2 in the first quarter with 6:50 left. And it's handled by Pockernick. She fumbles it out of bounds after the tough defense by CJ Nefuente. And that's going to be possession there to the Hawks.
And that's sports. You know, what do people do when you put them under pressure? They make mistakes, and that's exactly what CJ Nefuente did.
You know, that's exactly why they made that Queen and David Bowie song. Under pressure.
I've heard that.
Domingo handles the ball at the top of the key. Tries to swing it back to Nefuente, but the easy steal comes for Pockernick, who lays it up for the easy layup, misses it, but it's tipped back in by Rymack. Inbounded to Domingo. Domingo bringing the ball up. Keeping the handles, Domingo, but she swings it back to Nefuente. Screen maybe coming on the left, and it does. Nefuente pulls up for three. It's good, but that's going to be an offensive foul. Screen was illegal, and it was moving. That's a bad offensive set there for the Hawks.
And that's exactly why CJ Nefuente had that wide open shot at the top. It's a little suspicious when you see her with that much time on the floor.
Absolutely very surprising to see that. 5-4 is the score with 6:09 left in the first quarter as Pockernick handles it. Swings it over to Rymack. Rymack goes up for the layup, but gets the hit. Looks like she's headed to the line after being fouled by CJ Nefuente. And it looks like subs are coming back on for the Mohawk Mountaineers after the shot. Rymack hits the first one.
Stephanie Rymack this year has been the second best scorer for Mohawk Mountaineers. She's averaging just over 12 points and has really looked excellent all season long.
Nails the second. 5-6 is the score. Subs come on. Batanik subs in for Rymack. Inbound to Lopez. Watch out for her. Swing to Domingo. Dished over to Nefuente. Back to Lopez. Over to Bayshard on the corner. Watch that. She's a threat. She drives, passes into Semple, and that's some good team play by the Humber Hawks, rotating the ball multiple times in that possession.
Even with that unbelievable Mountaineers offense or defense, I'm sorry, it's crazy to think that they were able to find space.
And Sam Pockernick had a lane all the way to the other side, but sent back by Jill Semple. Hawks got numbers, and Domingo's got it already. She's got that hotline bling. 6 points in the game for Alina Domingo.
Finger roll right in the key.
That's how you do it. Backing up for the Mountaineers and shutting down the Humber momentum is the Mountaineers. That was Kusick with the bucket. Lopez charging. The Semple, little too much mustard on that one as it's rebounded by the Mountaineers, but it's stolen by Bayshard. Back to Nefuente, taking up for the easy layup, and she's gonna get the harm fouled there by Batanik.
Great decision by Bayshard there to find Nefuente. She was driving hard to the basket, and there's an awesome chance that you're gonna draw the foul. That's exactly what happened.
Subs are coming on for the Mountaineers. And both for the Hawks. Looking like Ariwa is gonna sub in there for Semple. And O'Neal subs in for the Mountaineers. First shot by Nefuente is good. 10-8's the score with 4:58 in the first quarter left. Misses the second one. Domingo grabs the board, throws it up, too high off the glass, and it's fumbled out there by Pockernick. Unfortunate series of events there, but Humber gets the repossession.
What a tough call. I wasn't sure who that went off, and it's fortunate for the Hawks that they got that ball back.
Inbounds here for the Hawks. Out to Bayshard for Trey. Oh, she called bank and it went in. Amber Bayshard with the three.
You cannot teach that, a bank shot from that deep.
No, she did call it though, so that's why it counted. Great shot there. And on the inbounds play, looking like a foul there on Bayshard. As a little bit of a commotion occurred as a result after the inbounds play. And it is going to be charged to Bayshard. That's Humber's second team foul. Mohawk has 3 team fouls as well. Inbounded to Rymack. Rymack handling the ball. Swings it over to Kusik. Nice two-person game right here. Rymack gets the ball back, dishes it to the interior for the easy layup for Karina Brown.
And this game has just been back and forth the entire way. 13-10 with just over 4 minutes left. What a game.
Hard to beat when you're going up against the first and third seeds. Ariwa has the ball. Over to Bayshard. Back to Nefuente. Fakes the J. Chooses not to go for it. Fakes the screen from Domingo. Pulls up from the high key and splashes it. CJ Nefuente with a nice J. That's her 4th point of the game.
Just left the defender's shoes on the court with that crossover. Unbelievable.
And an offensive foul is going to be charged to the Mountaineers. Stephanie Pockernick was rolling right into the defense of the Hawks. The substitutions are coming on for both the Mountaineers and the Hawks. Domingo checks out for Entree, and for the Mountaineers, you have Hunter Johns returning to the court. Inbounds coming for Ariwa. Handled by Lopez. Swinging over to Bayshard. Looking like it's going to go to Entree. Chooses not to. Goes back over to Nefuente. Pulls up for Trey is Nefuente, and she is in fuego. CJ Nefuente with 7 points in the game and a nice couple of series of J's in the past few minutes.
Shot that one all the way from Vaughn, right from the 905.
A definite fantastic shot there.
Charge that
Nefuente.
3, the $2 toll.
Hard one for me to handle it. Rymack over to Batanek. Interior. Hunter Johns. Too strong on that one. Scuffle interiors. But Karina Brown handles it. Fumbles it out of bounds after the tip, though, from Bayshard. But it's going to stay inbounds. It's going to stay Mohawk Mountaineer ball.
Full marks for Hunter Johns there on the offensive glass, winning that ball back out. They may have lost it later, but I mean, that's the type of intensity you got to show all game long.
Kusik. Looks like Humber's going to be awarded the possession as Ariwa throws it up for Leticia Lopez, who gets stopped on the fast break there by the solid D for the Mohawk Mountaineers. Nefuente handling the ball at the top of the key. Ariwa with the screen. Entree with the screen. Pass over to Bayshard in the corner. She's in danger. No good though, but Entree grabs the board. CJ wants a reset, but no, she's going to pull it for Trey herself. Not good. Ariwa with the extra hustle, but it's handled by the Mountaineers and by Karina Brown. Stephanie Rymack with the handle. Dishes over to Pockernick. Back to Rymack. Rymack for 3. Air ball, no good. Good hustle there by Brown. And that's going to be out of bounds. Great hustle there by Karina Brown.
An excellent ball movement by Rymack and Pockernick. They were able to pass it back and forth and find open space. They look great.
O'Neal and Kusic check in for the Mountaineers. Hawks have possession. Stephanie Entree handling the Entree pass. Nefuente with the handle. Guarded closely by Pockernick. They have not let up on her all game. Ariwa with the ball. Over to Leticia Lopez. Passes it over to Fuente. Fuente pulls it up. No good. Hustle there, and the scuffle ensues, and Mohawk is on a fast break. Pockernick with the easy layup and gets it. 18-12 is the score with 1:55 left in the first.
The Hawks may have gotten away with one there. It looked like Pockernick might have been fouled on that breakaway, but nothing called.
And that's going to be a travel committed there by CJ Nafuente after the easy pass to Stephanie Entree. Unfortunate series of events right there. Inbounds here for the Mountaineers as Pockernick handles the ball. Screen by Kusic. Interior pass to Johns, who lays it up. And they're not letting up, though, the Mohawk Mountaineers. Inbound into Leticia Lopez. She's taking it all the way up the court, feeling herself coast to coast, but a bad pass leads to Stephanie Rymack handling it, taking it all the way up the court. Getting the harm, but not the bucket. Wow, series of events there. Unfortunately, unfolding for the Hawks and for the Mountaineers, a great defensive lockdown.
Stephanie Rymack just making something out of nothing. The steal, pushing the ball up the floor, then drawing the foul. That's a complete play.
Rymack hits the first. It's their fifth of the game. The fifth point of the game, excuse me. That would have been very confusing if that was her fifth free throw of the game.
She'd have been in trouble early.
Hits them both. Substitutions coming on for the Humber Hawks as Entree subs out and Semple subs back in. Definitely substituting for size as Oriwa handles the inbound ball. Swinged it out to Lopez. Leticia Lopez being played tight. Tipped out by O'Neal. O'Neal playing smothering defense as Mohawk double teaming, but Lopez is left open for Trey. No good though. Oriwa fights for that extra hustle, but somehow, someway, Stephanie Ryback gets the ball and gets it in the cup. 18-all is the score with 55 seconds left in the first quarter. And the Mohawk Mountaineers have fought their way back to tie the game.
Just smothering defense there. Lopez couldn't get away, found Nafuente. They were still there. There's nothing you can do about that.
And the drive by Lopez, she gets hacked on the way up on the attempt. And that's gonna be 2 shots for the Humber Hawks. Substitutions are coming in for the Mohawk Mountaineers as Clarissa Brown subs in. Lopez hits the first. Leticia Lopez from Toronto, Ontario, the third year, the veteran presence that these Hawks love. As she nails the second, 2018's the score, as Tristan Boyington is going to be subbing in for Lopez. Brown handling the inbounds pass into John. Back to Brown. Over to Rymack. Kusic. Back to Brown. Brown driving. Tips it up, no good. Nafuente handling the rebound and bringing the ball up the court. Dishes it up to Boyington. Over to Oriwa, but she loses the handle. And that's gonna be Mohawk possession.
Just a little bit too much excitement. First it was Mohawks. Brown on one end losing the handle as she went to the glass, and then mishandled ball by the Hawks. They just need to slow it down and keep their heads together.
John's getting played tight. Rymack loses it, tipped out by the double team as CJ Nafuente takes control of the ball once again. Screen by Ariwa. Nafuente through the lane, the nice floater. Making it 22-18 as the quarter expires. That's some fast-paced basketball here in the first quarter. 22-18 is the score as these Humber Hawks are pushing forward after the Mohawk surge.
Nafuente with 2 hands in her face there, goes up and over and drains it. Vintage CJ Nafuente.
Fuente's got 9 points in the first quarter already. Maybe we're seeing another shining moment leading to a brilliant performance by CJ Nafuente.
But you can't overlook Mohawk's Stephanie Rymack at the other end. She has just been a force on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. CJ Nafuente might have met her match.
Seeing shots of both teams in their huddle. Coach Kevin Duffy talking to the Mohawk Mountaineers, and on the other end, AJ Sharma talking to the Humber Hawks. What was Mohawk doing right in that instance, Steven, and what do they need to keep doing to fight their way back to the lead?
I think they just need to keep doing what they've been doing. Their defense has been stifling. The 22 points on the board, that is not reflective of how good they have been, and their intensity level has been so high. If they can keep it there, they'll be able to push these Hawks to the limit.
That was the end of the first quarter. It's 18-22 for the Hawks then. And AJ Sharma, what did they need to do to continue this leading, build the streak, and push it up to 92?
They had a lot of shots from the outside, and you can't live and die by those low percentage shots. You need to get the ball a little more to the inside, and if they can keep driving the lane and then maybe get more teammates involved. It's been a lot of Nofuente, it's been a lot of Lopez. They need to spread the ball a little bit more and score those easy baskets.
All right, Hawks Nation, we are going to draw a different ticket number, so get your tickets out. Quickly, the winning ticket number is 08581. 08581. And that's your ticket number. It's not your ticket number, Blake.
Start of the second quarter coming soon here. The Mohawks surged, the Mountaineers surged in the first quarter, tying the game at 1 point, but the play of CJ Nofuente remained key for the Humber Hawks. Is on the inbound is Boyington to Nofuente.
Don't blink, this game could be tied.
It could definitely be tied in a matter of instances. Swing over to Semple, pulls up for the J. No good. Handled by Pockernick. Pockernick going. Nice crossover, handles it, swings it over to Johns. Over to O'Neal. O'Neal pulls up for Trey, no good. Handled by Oriwa. Nofuente fakes the move forward and makes Brown bite on it. Continuing forward up the court is CJ Nofuente. Chooses optional without the screen and goes up herself. The hard foul and gets the points heading and does not get the points, but gets the foul.
She hit the floor hard there. Not a good sign for the Hawks. Let's hope she's okay.
CJ's looking fine and looking good as she heads to the free throw line for two as Domingo subs in for Oriwa. And CJ hits the first. CJ's an 83.3% free throw shooter. That's a pretty good clip for the year. Hits the second. 24-18 is the score. CJ's already got 11. Inbounds here for the Mountaineers as John swings it up to O'Neal. Back to Rymack, back to O'Neal. Nope, it's tipped out by Boyington. Good heads-up play by Tristan Boyington.
That fast-paced offense that the Mohawk Mountaineers just showed really had the Hawks on their toes. They should keep going back to that.
Substitutions coming in for the Hawks as Lopez subs in for Boyington. O'Neal on the inbounds. Into the interior for Kusic. And she goes up with it. No basket. It's going to be a double dribble by Jasmina Kusic. Unfortunate for the Mountaineers.
That has to be frustrating. Fought so hard for that basket, got the lucky roll, and just to have it taken away like that, that's not easy.
Domingo inbounds it to Semple. Semple gets it stolen by Johns. Johns is going to take it to the cup, dishes it to Pockernick, who pulls up for the J and gets nothing but the rim and net. 24-20 is the score with CJ Nofuente handling the ball for the Hawks. Hawks trying to get some movement as Lopez gets it on the edge. Semple handling it, pulling up with a J, just off the rim. This is handled by Rymack. Call's gonna be, looks like a double dribble call for Rymack.
That's back-to-back double dribble calls against the Mountaineers. That's two unforced errors. They cannot do that here if they expect to win. They didn't do that in the first quarter, so I expect it not to last.
Inbounds here for the Hawks. Dished out to Lopez and over to Domingo. Bayshard handling it. Back to Lopez. Over to Nofuente. Pulling up with the tray is Nofuente. Short, but Domingo grabs the rebound. Swung it back out to Lopez. Lopez with a scoop layup. And with a little bit of ease. And the finesse dumps it in. 26-20 is the score.
And that offensive board by Domingo there really is what recreated that opportunity for Lopez. The Mountaineers are going to have to be a little more disciplined on those. You cannot give up offensive rebounds that easily.
And it's looking like Jasmina Kusic hits the deck hard after that drive. And she's going to be rewarded with the free throws. Substitution's going to be coming on here for the Mountaineers. John subbing out. As well as O'Neal, and subbing in is Karina Brown. And Monica Batinik. No free throws here. It's going to stay on the ground. Mohawk has the inbound. Into Rymack. Up. Rymack. No good with the shot attempt, but is going to get the call. Is going to go to the free throw line. Stephanie Rymack, the 4th year from Hamilton Westdale, and is really putting her imprint on this game.
She just won't be denied. This is not her first time to the line. She's already got 8 points. There's nothing they've been able to do so far to shut her down as far as the Hawks are concerned, and they should be worried because she looks like she came here to win.
Misses the first free throw attempt. 69% free throw shooters, Rymack, and she misses both of them, but it's rebounded by Brown. Pulling up for the Jays, Pockernick airballed it, no good. The good hustle there by both teams, and it's gonna stay. Mohawk possession, good hustle there by Batinik.
They got that offensive rebound, and then they win the call there on the out of bounds. This is a great chance for them to close the gap on this lead the Hawks have built.
Oh, dish interior to Brown, no good. And the misplay there by the Mohawks leads to Humber possession. Jill Semple with the inbound, trying to find a teammate. Gets Ariwa. Fuente bringing the ball up. Swing over to Lopez. Into Semple. Backing down to Semple. Pulling up for the J is Semple. Doesn't get the roll as it's rebounded by the Mountaineers. And Steph Rymack brings the ball up the court.
The Mountaineers did an excellent job there of forcing the Hawks to go ISO on the wing, which makes it that much more difficult for offense to have success.
Batinik with the drive, gets sent back by Ariwa. The good defensive play. Unfortunately, Ariwa grabs the board and steps out of bounds. It's going to retain Mohawk possession. Mountaineers on the inbound. Gets it over to Pockernick. Pockernick going up. Nice dribble move, but no good on the layup as Lopez rebounds and pushes it up the court. And she's going to keep going, swings it over to Semple with the easy layup, and Semple puts it up and puts it in for her 4th point of the game.
And that short pass there by Lopez really was all the difference. She got into the lane, found the open Semple, and made it that much easier for her to get to the basket.
Jasmina Kusic with the easy layup. And it looks like a timeout's going to be charged to the Humber Hawks. Great matchup going on between these two, as within 2 we have 28-22 score, very closely contested game. What are your thoughts so far, Steven?
Well, you know, through the first quarter and a little bit into the second, it really was a back and forth scoring fest, but in the last few minutes, things have really tightened up. The lead sits at 6, but like I said before, don't blink because this game could be tied any second.
This game has definitely been the Stephanie Rymack highlight fest. The extra hustle, the good defensive plays. What should Humber do to shut her down?
I don't know if there's anything you can do. She's looked unbelievable. She pushes the ball up the court. She intercepts passes at the other end. Hard defense. She's forcing isolations. I mean, how do you stop that?
You don't, or you try your best at least to. Humber with the inbounds possession. Gets it inbound. No, does not. Stolen by the Mountaineers, but it's... And on the pass over to the interior, it's tipped out by the Mohawk Mountaineers. Seems to be a little bit of confusion, and it's going to go back to Humber. Ariwa handling it. Gets it over to Semple. Semple to Fuente. Fuente getting some play calls going in, isolating. Semple with the screen on the left, the good pick and roll play. But the floater by Fuente is good as she scores her 13th point of the game off the runner. And a timeout is going to be called by the Mohawk Mountaineers. And Coach Kevin Duffy must be frustrated with the defense trying to shut down CJ Nafuente.
Well, I think he's made the right decision here. You take a minute, you gather everybody on the bench, you kind of slow things down, and you go out and you reset. And that's what you need to do. It looks like they've been losing balls on the offensive side, and their defense isn't as tight as it was in the first quarter. So I think this timeout's a good call.
Hawks are leading by 8. Not far behind are the Mohawk Mountaineers in both the game and in the standings. Mohawk sits 3rd in the West, OCAA West, and the Humber Hawks undefeated for the year, 8-0, trying to go for their 92nd overall win at home. It's going to be hard to beat these Hawks going forward.
You have to think, though, all the pressure really is on the Humber Hawks. Protecting that 25-game winning streak, I mean, I wouldn't want to be out there playing for that.
Exactly, 25 at home, 91 overall for the past 7 seasons. Hard to beat are these Humber Hawks, as play is going to resume in a few seconds. Mountaineers with the inbounds. And it's swung to Pockernick. Pockernick bringing the ball up the court with speed. Swings it over to Batnick. Interior to Kusik. Pulls up for the J. Gets the foul. Semple's holding her hand. She's not happy about that call. Subs are going to be coming in for the Mohawk Mountaineers. Rymack subs out. And it looks like John is going to sub on in a few seconds after the free throws by Kusic. Kusic misses the first one. The first year from Dundas Highland.
You have to really like this substitution, bringing in Johns when Semple is off the court. It's going to give the Mountaineers a serious upside when it comes to size.
Substitution occurs for the Mountaineers as John subs in. Entree handling the inbounds pass. Swings it to Ariwa. Ariwa brings it up the court, but decides to give it to Lopez. Back to Ariwa. Back to Lopez. Running into each other are the two. Over to Nafuente on the wing. Driving is CJ Nafuente, but she dishes it out to Bayshard, who handles it, pulls up for the tray, and hits it. Amber Bayshard in that corner is a threat that you need to be worried about.
Everybody's focused on the play on the opposite wing, and they find her in the pocket wide open all day.
Amber Bayshard in that corner is hard to beat. O'Neal dishes interior to Brown. With the scoop layup is Brown. She's going to get the foul on Stephanie Entree.
And Brown's just showing some killer instinct there with the ball in her hands, driving hard, won't take no for an answer. She didn't get to the basket, but she does get to the line, and that's almost as good.
And a timeout's going to be charged to the Hawks. AJ Sharma is not happy about the play. Like that rotation on the offensive end, but on the defensive end may need to tighten up as he talks to his coach and talks to his players. He might know what he's doing. He's reigning OCAA Coach of the Year.
I think he might know a thing or two about basketball.
Maybe, just a little bit. And on the other end for the Mohawks, Kevin Duffy, been here 9 years. He knows what he's doing. He knows what these Mohawk Mountaineers need to do to get back as they're down 10 with 2 in the second quarter with 5:48 left in the second quarter.
Holding a coaching position anywhere for 9 years is a tough task. So yeah, I'd say Kevin Duffy has a resume that speaks for itself.
And it is speaking completely as his squad is 3rd in the West. Going to keep trying to move it up the ladder, maybe get the W against the Hawks, repeat what they did back in 2014 and ending their home streak.
Hey, the time is right.
The time is now.
The time is now.
Play resuming in a few seconds. Karina Brown to the free throw line, the 5th year from Hamilton Westdale. No good on the first one. Brown, a 50% free throw shooter. Improves her free throw percentage true as she misses the first one but hits the second. Fuente on the inbounds play, bringing the ball in. Swings it over to the corner for Bayshard's wide open and drills the tray. Amber Bayshard is 3 for 3 from three-point range.
Even I was lost on that play. I thought that was an errant pass right to the pocket and finding Bayshard.
Drive on the Mohawks. Screen there for the Mountaineers. Pulling up for Trey. No good. Batinick couldn't get it. And on the other end, Leticia Lopez pushing it coast to coast. Swinging it to Nufuente. Over to Oriwa. Nice little hook up. A little too soft. Out to Lopez. Out to Nufuente to Lopez. Lopez with the no good shot. And the Mountaineers are going to keep this energy speed going. Johns over to oh my God, to Pockernick. Wow, what a series of passes right there. But they're not going to stop it here. Lopez dishes it up to Bayshard. Back to Lopez. Looked like Bayshard had the easy tray opportunity, but chose not to pull up.
I'm still dazed after that pass by Johns to Pockernick. That was unbelievable.
That was a beautiful, gorgeous pass. Tim Duncan-esque in the post as Nufuente handles the ball at the top. Pulling up for Trace Nufuente. She's feeling it. She's like Nicki Minaj and Beyonce. She's feeling herself, feeling herself. Nufuente's got 16 already, and the Hawks are up 13.
She looks the defender right in the eye and says, that hand in my face is meaningless. I don't need to see the basket to make this shot.
O'Neal to Brown. Brown runs in to CJ Nufuente with a great team play, taking the charge.
And that's the type of stuff that gets you the respect of your teammates. You let somebody back you down like that and go hard to the floor for a possession, that's huge.
Subs are coming on for the Mountaineers. Both Ryback and Kusik check in. And Kusik, sorry, Kusik. The name of many pronunciations today, at least.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Entree finds Oriwa. Gives it to Nufuente. Bayshard gets the pass. Fumbles it, but swings it over to Nufuente. Nufuente wants a screen and gets it. Not going anywhere though, as the Mohawk Mountaineers' smothering defense shuts down the hot Humber offense.
Well, that was unbelievable. The double team worked. She couldn't find the open player because, you know, if you put 2 on 1, there's going to be somebody open and force Nufuente to use up all that shot clock.
Rymack handling it, swings it over to Pockernick. Over to Kusik. Oh, Pockernick left open for Trey, gonna pull it. No good. Handled by Oriwa. Nufuente receives it. Elects to bring the ball up slow. Over to Bayshard. To Lopez. Drive by Lopez, the runner. No good. Rebounded by Johns. Swung up the court for Pockernick, and the dish is gonna go off the hands of the Mohawk Mountaineers, and it's gonna just retain Hawks ball.
And you could see there on that last play down by the Hawks that Leticia Lopez noticed that the Mountaineers were overcommitting on CJ Nofuente and gave her the rack. It's unfortunate she couldn't finish, but the Mountaineers are gonna have to tighten up because they cannot leave any one of these girls open.
Lopez has to stop her dribbles through too many bows, and that's gonna be an offensive foul called there. Lopez obviously not happy with the calls, and it looks like substitutions are gonna be coming in for the Mountaineers. No, they are not, excuse me. Just an inbounds play. They're up at the scorer's table, confused me for a second.
Yeah, no, basketball can be a confusing game, Josh.
It can be. Even though I played it for 13 years, can confuse the hell out of me sometimes. O'Neal swung over to Pockernick to Johns. Johns gonna take it herself. Dished it to the interior, but it's stolen by the Hawks. Entree passes it over to Lopez. Lopez back to Entree. Over to Bayshard. Didn't choose to pull it for Trey. CJ's gonna do it. Oh, off the front rim though. CJ Nofuente's Trey attempt. But she grabs her own rebound. Excellent hustle there. Screen by Entree. A good pick and pop right there. Off the back glass is Entree's shot, and it's no good. Stephanie Rymack gonna keep pushing the ball into the court. Over to Johns, fake the tray. What up for the layup, but Oriwa says no. Gioma Oriwa says no.
Full marks to Johns there, though. Did you see that head fake? Totally had the defender bite and then went to the net. It was just Oriwa between her and the rack, and she said no.
Boyington and Semple sub in for the Hawks. As the Mountaineers get right to the rack and get the harm. And Kusik is going to get the foul, heading to the free throw line. And Kusik hits the first one. Kusik is 77.8% free throw shooter. Sorry, 70% free throw shooter. Misses the first one, but hits the second. De Fuente brings the ball up the court. Elects not to go for the screen, goes for the crossover move, and gets Semple the ball. The big strong finish by Jill Semple.
That is simplified basketball right there. The dish from
Waka waka.
Too easy. It was right there. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
O'Neal with the nice spin move gets up to the rack, but no good, as it's rebounded by Boyington, who's going to push it up the court. But it's stopped by two Mohawk Mountaineers, and Johns fakes the pass. Ooh, goodness gracious, with a Mono Ginobili-esque pass fake. It goes up for the nice layup there. Wow.
Don't look now, but I'm taking this myself. That's what Hunter Johns just said on that offensive break.
My goodness, what a pass fake. Faked Humber out of their shorts for a second.
I was looking the other way. That ball is gone.
Substitutions coming on for the Humber Hawks as Bayshard subs out, but Lopez subs in. Ariwa handling the inbounds, dishes it into Semple. De Fuente gets the ball from Semple. De Fuente bringing the ball up. She's got 16 already. Minute 21 before left in the half. Lopez with the ball at the top of the key. Back to De Fuente. Watch that J. No good. Rebounded there by Kusik. Over to O'Neal. Over to Pockernick, but it was too far out of reach. That's going to be Humber possession. And subbing in is Batinik for the Mohawk Mountaineers, and subbing out is Pockernick.
I think right now, Mohawk needs to go back to what they were doing earlier in the half, calm things down, and tighten up on defense. They don't want this getting out of hand before the end of the second quarter.
Fuente passes the ball up to Boyington. 52 seconds left in the half. Boyington over to De Fuente, into Oriwa. Oriwa with a big move, gets the foul. 41-29 is the score right now, left with 51 seconds left in the first half. Chioma Oriwa from Brampton, Ontario, the 5th year, the veteran presence. Nails the first shot.
So poised at the line. Just, I've done this before. I've been doing it 5 years. Let me show you how it's done.
Nails the second. Subs are coming on there for the Mohawk Mountaineers as Karina Brown subs in. 43-29 with 47 seconds left in the quarter. Johns to Batinik. Batinik is going to take it all the way to the rack herself and gets the easy left-handed scoop layup. 38 seconds remain in the half, and De Fuente is going to take her sweet time bringing the ball up the court. 17 seconds left on the shot clock. Oriwa handles the ball, fumbles it a little bit. Kevin Duffy wanted the travel call, but doesn't get it. Johns handling it, 23 seconds left. Pass fumbled there by the Mountaineers, but it's still kept in their possession. 16 seconds left on the clock as Rymack handles the ball. Screen there by Johns, solid screen by Johns. Pull up J by Johns, no good, off the rim. It's gonna go off the hands of the Mohawk Mountaineers, and it's gonna stay Hawks possession with 5.9 seconds left in the half. 43-31 is the score.
Full marks to Mohawk. They're playing hard on that possession. That screen by Johns looked like it may have hurt. And it created the open shot for herself. I mean, that was just a great offensive run. can't blame them for not scoring.
Leticia Lopez took that screen hard as a result. Timeout's called. 43-31 with only a few seconds left in the half. And what are your thoughts so far in the game, Stephen?
I think that this is one of the toughest matches I've seen all year for the Humber Hawks women's team. I mean, they have been getting pushed to the brink. This score does not reflect how close it's been. The Hawks just need to tighten up on defense, and really, if Mohawk can go out there and start executing, this thing will be closer than it is right now real soon.
Hawks are leading by 12 with only 7 seconds left. Excuse me, 5 seconds left in the half. Anything that can be done here for the Mohawk Mountaineers going into the half. It's only 5 seconds. That's the difference between a three-pointer and a non-three-pointer.
Well, and with the speed of these Humber Hawks, I mean, they can get up the floor and create a quality opportunity for themselves in less time than that. So Mohawk's going to have to be cognizant of the fact that this is a well-polished offense they're playing against.
5.9 remains in the half. 43-31's the score. As Nefuente inbounds the ball, watch out for the baseball pass. May happen as a result. A little bit of a conversation occurring between Nefuente and the referee. Nefuente gets to Lopez. Back to Nefuente. Throws it up after getting the bump. 2.7 seconds left, and Nefuente is going to be headed to the free throw line. That is Mohawk's 5th team foul. Both teams are in the bonus.
Good heads-up play there, too, by Nefuente, thinking maybe she could turn this into 3 shots with the Hail Mary from half court.
Very Stephen Curry-esque as she hits the first shot. CJ Nefuente with 17 points in the game. Nope, make that 18. The Hawks lead 45-31 with 2.7 seconds left in the half. Rymack's gonna handle it, and the buzzer's gonna expire. Shot attempt's gonna be no good, and at the half, Hawks up 45-31. Mohawk trailing. We still got a lot of basketball left, Stephen. What can Mohawk do to come back?
I think what Mohawk has to do is go back to Rymack. That was what was happening in the first quarter, and it was working for them. She hasn't scored in a while. She's been stuck on 8 points, while the person she was going toe-to-toe with, CJ Nefuente, has taken off with 18 of her own.
Maybe time to keep an idea of where that marquee matchup is happening. More action coming after the half. Wonderful highlights being shown there of the Hawks' performance, as well as this battle going on between the two. Crowd's going wild. It's a good game. It's t-shirt tossing, as well as more actions coming up after the half. Keep it tuned to BRTV.
We provide practical learning in and out of the classroom. We are chefs. We are programmers. We are community builders. We are technicians. We are entrepreneurs. We are Humber.
We are Humber, and we are live at the OCAA women's basketball matchup between the #1 Hawks and the #3 Mohawk Mountaineers. Josh Rawlings alongside Stephen Boyles, and we've had so far a fascinating matchup between these two players. 45-31 is the score now heading into the third quarter. Hawks are leading by 14. And what does Mohawk have to do now that they've been trailing 14 to build momentum? Because they played strong in the first half.
I think early on in this half, they just can't let things get out of control, and they can't let the difference in score get inside their heads. If they come out and they put up the first 4 or 6 points, they're right back in this game, and they need to go to the people they've had the most success with today. That's been Stephanie Rymack, and unfortunately not Sam Poppernick. She is their top scorer, and they really need her to show up in the second half.
Going to keep that in mind moving on forward. For Humber, what do they need to keep doing to continue this winning streak at home?
Well, I think we've seen that they can rely on CJ Nofuente. I don't know if you've heard of her.
No idea.
She has just had an unbelievable first half, 18 points, and it looks like she could challenge the 40 she put up a few weeks ago.
Brown with the layup, no good. Little scuffle leads to Mohawk retaining the possession. Johns handling it, swings it back to Rymack. Back to Johns. Johns gonna drive the ball to the lane, pulling up for the J, and it's good, the fadeaway from Johns.
Unbelievable shot from the corner, hand in her face, and she says, you know what, I'm putting the team on my back on this one.
Leticia Lopez with the ball. Over to Jill Semple, a high post, pull up for the J. Jill Semple says, I can do what you can do, but I can do it better.
Anything you can do, I can do better. That's right, an awesome shot choice there by Semple, right on the elbow, and she nails it.
Rymack handling the ball up the court. Dished over to Brown. Kusik handling the ball. Back to Rymack. Over to O'Neal. O'Neal with a drive. Going nowhere. Back over to Brown. Brown with the drive. Nice interior lane and drops the point in for the bucket. 47-35.
Awesome take right there, driving to the lane. That is a power move.
Carissa Brown with the bucket. Leticia Lopez handling it. Oh, and Carissa Brown looks like she's going to swing out of control. Falls to the ground, and she's going to take the offensive foul against the Hawks. Looks like it might be charged to Leticia Lopez or CJ Nofuente. Not good there for the Hawks.
She hit the floor hard, and it looks like Brown has a bit of a limp on. Hopefully she's okay here. That looked ugly.
Inbound to Rymack. Rymack handling. She's had a pretty good game for herself. 8 points in the first half.
She really has. That first quarter, though, really set the tone. She's got to get back to where she was then.
Johns with the scoop layup after the heavy pressure. No good as Nofuente grabs the board. Dishes it over to Semple, pulls it up for the layup and gets it. Jill Semple with a nice teardrop layup.
Showing that even as the inside defender who's expected to play hard defense, she's got the soft touch, too.
Rymack nearly breaks the ankles of Bayshard. Chooses not to as the Mountaineers rotate the ball. And O'Neal pulling up for the interior shot. No good. But it's rebounded by Brown. Johns gets the handle. Taking interior of the Mountaineers, and they're pulling up, and no good. Rebounded by Nofuente. Dished over to Lopez. Lopez pulling up at the high key. Off the back rim, no good, but Domingo brings it back in for them. And she brings it out to Nofuente, pulls up for Trey, and off the front lip. These Humber Hawks have been a little bit cold to start the second half. As Johns gets the ball all the way up the court, coast to coast, gets the foul off Nofuente, and Hunter Johns using her size and speed to her advantage.
That was absolute larceny there by that rim. In and out. This should be a three-point play. Unfortunately, it's not, and Johns can't let that distract her. She's got to step up and hit these free throws.
Hunter Johns with 6 points in the game. Second year from Kitchener. Nails it. Inbounded to Fuente, who's going to push the tempo all the way up court. Going to take it coast to coast and just going to get hugged on the interior end by the Mountaineers, and that's going to be 2 shots for CJ Nofuente. It looked like Stephanie Rymack just wrapped her arms around CJ Nofuente.
Well, what else can you do? I mean, I see her coming. I'm going to do the same thing. It's going to be hard-nosed defense. I'm taking the foul, and I'm not letting her get a shot off.
Fuente hits the first. She's had some trouble at the lines, only hit a couple here and there.
And if you see that happening throughout the game with Nofuente, I mean, that could be a weakness. You got to go after what you see and make her earn it at the line.
Nofuente misses one, hits the second. It's rebounded by Domingo, and the Hawks rotate the ball to get it to Semple, but Semple puts too much mustard on that beat, but Domingo gets it back as Lopez pulls up for Trey. No good. But Bayshard goes up and grabs it for her, goes up for the layup, no good. Thought she wanted to call, doesn't get it. Oh, and that's going to be a travel there, and Stephanie Rymack tried to get around CJ Nofuente. She stood right in her way.
You okay there, Josh, on that Bayshard call?
I was losing my breath a little bit. It was astonishing how many offensive rebounds the Hawks could grab. My goodness. Subs are coming in for the Mountaineers. Both Brown and Pockernick sub in. Layup by Nofuente, no good. Tempo's being pushed by O'Neal. Dishes back to Pockernick. Pulls up for Trey. Ooh, just short on the front rim. But the hustle there by Brown keeps it inbounds. Karina Brown with the hustle, who dishes it over to Pockernick, but it slips out of her fingers, and that's going to be Humber Hawks possession. Ouch, I just hit my knee.
That is a tough pass to reel in. Full marks to Pockernick for just getting a hand on it. From one wing to the other, it's too hot to handle.
Lopez with the handle. Driving the ball is Lopez, but she swings it over to Semple. The beautiful play, but no finish by Semple. She started off cold a little bit. Start the second half as Nofuente retains the possession. Screen coming from Semple. CJ goes left, dishes it into Domingo, but she can't go up. Jump ball's gonna be called, and it's gonna stay Humber Hawks possession. Good defense by the Mohawk Mountaineers as there's 4 seconds left in the shot clock.
And it looked like Domingo might have gotten hit in the face there. I think she's okay, but dangerous play with those swinging elbows low in the post.
Nofuente on the inbounds, gets it over to Lopez. She's gonna have to pull up. She's got 3 seconds left, but it's gonna go out of bounds. The double team affects Letitia Lopez, who leads to the turnover and the Mohawk Mountaineers possession. Pockernick handling it on the outbounds. Gets it over to Rymack. Rymack gonna push the tempo. Bayshard struggling to keep up with her. Over to Brown. To O'Neal, who fumbles the pass a little. Pockernick's gonna get it back. She's gonna drive the lane. What is sent back by Jill Semple. Jill Semple shuts the door and puts a hand on her face. Looks like she may have been smacked in the face as a result of the end play. Clenching her eye.
Maybe
Not a good
swatted
look.
that thing out of there so hard she got a little piece of herself. That was an unbelievable block.
Inbounds by the Mountaineers, no good as it leads to the steal by the Hawks, and Bayshard's gonna push the tempo. But she's gonna fumble the layup, and Domingo's gonna grab the board and go up. That's a signature hustle that we've seen from Alina Domingo.
And she knows where to be. I mean, 5th all time in Humber scoring, I'm sorry. She knows exactly where she needs to go, those dirty areas to get the ball and score.
Earned her captain's badge as the Mountaineers call timeout, and Steven Mohawk hitting on cylinders, all cylinders, and on the other end, Humber struggling to get some offense going. It is 50-36, but what can Mohawk do? Because it seems that Jill Semple cannot get a bucket.
Well, it really seems to me like both these teams came out with a lot of energy, really excited for the second half. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked out for Mohawk, where they've been able to really work into that Hawks lead. But if they keep this effort going, they keep their compete level up, there's no reason to think that that 14-point lead can't erode.
No wall is impenetrable. And neither is the lead by the Hawks. 50-36 is the score as the Hawks are leading in the third quarter. Both teams playing hard and good hustle being shown a lot by Stephanie Rymack. The combination of Rymack and Hunter Johns has been lethal for the Mohawk Mountaineers, and on the other end, the Humber Hawks have been relying on on Amber Bayshard and Alina Domingo in combination with CJ Nofuente.
Really, it has been, and I really like that Hunter Johns Jill Semple matchup. Those two are the biggest girls on the court, and they've been showing it. They're working tooth and nail against one another. And if they can keep this going, it should be an interesting matchup for the rest of the night.
Domingo misses the first. Domingo, 71.4% free throw shooter. Misses both of them, very uncharacteristic of her. But CJ handles the rebound and gets it to Semple with the strong move. Semple turns it up and around, no good, but Domingo with the extra hustle and the extra point. Alina Domingo now with 8 points, showing off that reason why she's the glue of this team.
Like I said before, she knows to go to those dirty areas to pick up the rock.
Trey by Batnick is no good. It's going to go out of bounds, and that's Humber Hawks possession. Domingo handling the out of bounds. Gets it in to Leticia Lopez. Lopez bringing the ball up the court. Oh, it's tipped out by O'Neal, and the good dive to the court by O'Neal gets it. Over to Pockernick, up to Brown, and that's going to be a foul on the Humber Hawks. And wow, what a possession there for the Mountaineers defensively.
It looks like Domingo couldn't believe it. I mean, I thought it was an obvious foul, but she seems to think otherwise.
Karina Brown going to the free throw line. Brown, a 50% free throw shooter, misses the first one. And misses the second one, short on both as Semple grabs the board. Nafuente dishes the ball up court to Bayshard, who goes up for the easy layup, misses the layup, but gets the foul. Shakes her head, unhappy with the result. Knew she could have gotten the three-point play.
And what is happening on the defensive side of the ball with the Mountaineers? They're leaving Amber Bayshard wide open like that. You just cannot take a single shift off. Every single time you need to be mindful of where everybody on the court is.
Hunter John subs in. Amber Bayshard going to the free throw line, having a pretty good game of herself. 9 points, 3 of 3 from three-point range.
And she has been a killer from the pocket all season long, just like we've
three
seen.
for 4 for free throw from three-point range, and she, as you were saying, has been a monster.
Oh, she's got that corner on lock. Do not leave her uncovered over in the pocket.
Bayshard doesn't hit any free throws. Semple falls, but she's good. Gets the rebound after Fuente's shot, no good. Oh, dished interior to Johns. Johns looked like she wanted the call against Fuente. Got nothing instead, and it's a Humber Hawks possession.
No, Fuente might have gotten away with one there, playing a little too aggressively, giving Johns a little bit of the shoulder on her back check. You cannot do that.
Leticia Lopez being played tight. Oh, gets her pass tip, but Bayshard grabs it. Domingo's got it, gonna pull up for the J, and it's good. Nothing but net. 54-36 to score with 4:47 left in the third quarter. Handled by Batinik. Passed over to O'Neal. Into Johns. Over to Brown. No good on the layup as Domingo grabs it and pushes the tempo of the Humber Hawks. Soaring in. Going coast to coast as Domingo does not finish. O'Neal over to Potnick. Potnick, good. Pockernick, good.
And there's just a breakdown on both ends of the court there. You see those people being left wide open, crashing the boards, getting it back up court, and leaving Pockernick the entire lane.
Nafuente dishes over to Semple, who's wide open for the easy layup. Jill Semple. Semple's got 12 in the game today as Johns receives the ball in the inbounds pass. Passed over to O'Neal. Into Johns. Johns with a pull-up J. No, she's been a threat with that jumper, but no success. Oh, but Pockernick grabs the board when the Hawks aren't looking and says, I'm going to put this up and put it in.
Just will not be denied, and she's creating it for herself. She's single-handedly putting her team back into this game.
Pockernick has got 4 in the quarter. 10 in the game. As Domingo has it on the top of the key. Pulls it for the J. Off rim, no good. Boarded by Batinik. Handling it. Over to O'Neal. Passed over to Pockernick, who's wide open and hits it. And Sam Pockernick is definitely out here and heating up. 3 shots in a row means she's on fire. Boom shakalaka.
She's heating up for sure. And as the top scorer on this team, those are the people you need to show up every single game. She was a little bit off cue in the first half, and it looks like she's gone into the dressing room, figured it out, and come out here ready for the rest of the game.
Leticia Lopez took the ball coast to coast, wanted to get the call and doesn't, as Semple, both Semple and Bayshard sub out for Anna Jacobs. And Oriwa. Inbounded to Rymack. Rymack with a swing over to Kusik. O'Neal handling it. To the interior pass. Oh, but sent back. Sam Pockernick thought she had the easy layup, but CJ Nofuente came from behind with a LeBron James-esque block.
And it seems like CJ Nofuente is clued into the fact that Pockernick came to play in the second half. She didn't give her an inch there.
Inbounded the ball to the Mountaineers, and Pockernick's going to keep going into the lane. Swinged it back to O'Neal, who pulls up for the J and hits nothing but air, but it's going to go off the hands of CJ Nofuente. And it's going to remain Mountaineers' possession.
with only a second left on the shot clock. Let's see what the Mountaineers can do. I mean, touch and shoot, fire and go.
No good.
Can't be done.
Shot clock buzzer rang. Coach Duffy is furious with the call, is not happy with the call, is going to keep going and arguing. Kevin Duffy not happy about that. Voicing his frustration.
He thinks that maybe that shot clock started before the ball got in their hands. Either way, he is infuriated out there.
Might want to watch himself. Could lead to a technical as Amber Bayshard's going to check back in and check out Leticia Lopez. Bayshard does like the cherry pick. You might want to keep that in mind off of the Humber inbound possession. But no, they're going to throw it to Fuente, who's got an open lane for the layup and cuts it up and puts it in. Fuente's got 21 with 2:28 left in the quarter. 58-42 is the score as it's handled by Rymack.
And No Fuente there, just so explosive. The second the ball gets in her hands, she is away, creating a shot for herself.
Back out to Rymack from Kusik. Easy layup there, but it's fumbled and lost. No good. Fuente brings the ball up court for Amber Bayshard, a story we've seen all game, but she fumbles the layup. Kevin Duffy's screams of anger can be heard from the other side of the court as the possession's no good. He wanted an offensive foul on that.
I think either an offensive foul or maybe he thought Amber Bayshard had a self-pass there. Not sure if it went off the Mountaineers' hands at all, and she gathered up the rebound.
Substitutions are coming in for both teams. Entree subbing in for the Hawks and for the other end. Carissa Brown subbing in for the Mountaineers. Possession's going to be charged to the Mountaineers off the tip. Passed into the interior, and the shot up off the rim, no good. With a hustle by the Mountaineers gets the possession back. Tough call coming in a few seconds, and it's going to stay Humber. It's going to be Humber ball off of the tough touch. Amy Carter with the good hustle prior.
It really is times like these that both teams need to, again, I know I've said it all night long, but they need to calm down and not get too excited, because when you get feeling like you're under a lot of pressure, that's when you make mistakes.
And speaking of making mistakes, Stephanie Entree passed the ball to the bottom of the rim. That's going to stay out of bounds and become Mohawk possession. Passed in to Pockernick. No good. Oh, and it looks like Humber seems to be committing error after error as Oriwa put her shoulder in to the chest of a Mountaineer. And that's going to be on the ground again. Hawks have 4 team fouls in the third quarter alone. May need to be careful. The next one's in the bonus.
Oh, and Mohawk cannot continue to let these mistakes go without payment. They need to score. There's one. They need to continue to make that happen.
That's Stephanie Rymack off the layup, and Fuente's going to take it coast to coast. And a foul is going to be called there on Rymack. She's not happy with the call at all. Had her hands down the entire time, holding her shorts in anger.
Kevin Duffy, too, continues to let his opinion be heard. He is right on the court at this point. He looks upset. If I had to guess how he was feeling, it would be upset.
You can see assistant coach Megan Reed trying to calm Duffy down. Duffy seems to be losing it. Not happy with the calls. Fuente hits the first free throw. 59-44 is the score with 1:28 left in the third. And off the Fuente miss, Oriwa grabs the board. But it's going to go off the foot of Entree, and that's going to be possession to the Mountaineers. Inbounded to the Mountaineers. And Pockernick's going to take it all the way using her speed. Right to the cup for the layup. Sam Pockernick, 14 points.
Mike Duffy looking like Mike D'Antoni out there with that pass.
High-speed offense has been the name of the game for both of these teams. CJ Nafuente handles it. The pass, fumbled and stolen. Rymack handles it, bringing it up the court. Dishes it. It's going to go off the hands of the Hawks and out of bounds. It's going to remain Mountaineers' possession. 59-46 is the score with 55.8 seconds left in the game. Interior pass, little layup, no good. Pull it up, no good for the Mountaineers. Carter couldn't get it. Oh, Entree's left wide open on the fast break and puts it up and puts it in. entry. Happy about that for sure. As
Being
Rymack
left that
funnels
wide
it.
open is nice.
Oh, and it's tipped by Amber Bayshard. She's going to take it all the way coast to coast. Amber Bayshard scoring the points, showing the extra hustle that she brings. With 20 seconds left in the quarter, Mountaineers hold the possession of the final ball.
Things getting a little bit out of control here before the end of the quarter. Mohawk's got to finish strong.
Brown over to Carter, over to Pockernick. Pockernick drives, and there's a call. It's going to be on the ground. Foul charge to the Hawks. Sam Pockernick been playing pretty well today. No, it's not going to be on the ground. Excuse me. She's going to the line for twos. That's the Humber's 15th team foul. Pockernick's been playing pretty well. 14 points, 6 alone in this quarter.
And she's looked just awesome here in the second half. She's been hitting her shots. She's been everywhere on defense. Sam Pockernick is the top scorer of this team for a reason. Pockernick
Averages 17.1 points per game and is a 75% free throw shooter as she nails up both of her shots from the line. 48-63 is the score with 5.5 seconds left. Oh, the dish out to Bayshard somehow stays in her hands. And Bayshard scores the bucket after the inbounds play by CJ Nofuente. And the Hawks can't help but smile after that. Amazing possession there.
Look at the athleticism of Amber Bayshard. Just goes up and gets it. Walking away for the easy two.
Hawks finish the third quarter, leading 65-48. Mohawk seems to be circling the drain. What can they do to change this event?
Well, I think they just got to stay focused and not let the fact that they're down by 17 points push them off their game plan. Unfortunately for Mohawk, right now it seems like Humber is getting contributions from everyone. We saw Nofuente and Lopez and Domingo and all those people, but we've also seen a lot of Bayshard and Semple now too, and that really makes this already high potent offense that much more dangerous.
As you can see, Semple, Domingo, Bayshard all making an impact. And on the other end, we've seen O'Neal and Rymack, O'Neal, and Pockernick trying their best to bring the ball game back close. Can't forget about it. Fourth quarter action coming up soon on BRTV. Action resuming here in the fourth quarter. 65-48 is the score, and the Hawks are leading by 17. Going into the final stretch as Mohawk gains the final possession, gains the first possession in the fourth quarter. Over to Pockernick. Johns handling it. O'Neal's got it. O'Neal driving, no good, fumbles it, but Pockernick gets it. The extra hustle, scoops up the layup, no good, but Semple grabs the board.
Pockernick just has to continue to drive the lane like that, and good things will happen.
A potential over and back there by Semple, but not called there. As Domingo handles it, passes it to Semple, no good off the board. Looks like it's going to be tipped out of the hands of a Humber Hawk, and it's going to retain possession for the Mohawks.
And the Humber Hawks just don't slow down. Right when you turn around off of that defensive board, there's Leticia Lopez and Amber Bayshard swarming like locusts.
Batnick handling it. Over to Pockernick. Over to O'Neal, who wanted to pull it for Trey, fakes it, drives the lane, swings it out to Johns for Trey. Bangs it home, 65-51's the score with 9:10 left in the first quarter as the Hawks are pushing the tempo. As Domingo gets into the interior, fumbles it, and a jump ball ensues. It's going to remain Hawks' possession.
An absolutely beautiful shot there by Johns, recognizing that she's open in the pocket, no defender in her way, and just says, "Excuse me, Hawks, I'm going to knock this down.
CJ Nofuente gets the inbound pass, goes up for the layup, and it's no good as Mohawk Mountaineers retain the possession off the board. O'Neal up to Pockernick, into Brown. Good ball movement, leads to the score. 65-53 is the score.
Mohawks really coming alive here in the fourth quarter. Humber better pay attention because this lead will evaporate.
Domingo to Lopez. Watch out for Bayshard. Lopez sees her. Bayshard drives the lane. Swings out to Nofuente. Nofuente drives the lane herself, but loses the pass. It's stolen by the Mountaineers as O'Neal drives the court. Gets it up to Pockernick, who's going to pull the J. No good. But she's going to go for her own board. She's not going to get it. Semple hauls it in. Nofuente takes control. And the baseball pass up to Lopez. Lopez gets it back in control. Thought about driving, but didn't. Back to Nofuente. Dish over to Bayshard. Back over to Lopez for Trey. Banging it home. Leticia Lopez for Trey.
And that really could deflate Mohawk. They can't let themselves get down here. These are the critical minutes of the game. They just got to keep working on getting back into it.
Mohawk down by 15 as Johns nearly gets stripped by Nofuente. O'Neal handles it, drives it to the bucket. Up against strong D and does not get a result. Lopez dishes it up to Nofuente. Nofuente into Domingo, who pulls up for the J. Nice and easy. Made it look routine right there.
That was absolutely academic. Did you see that turnaround shot? Too easy.
Mountaineers handling the ball. Pockernick's got it at the top of the court. Screen coming for Johns. O'Neal dishes it back to Pockernick. His rotation has been good. No score off of the block from Semple or the missed score by Johns. Pockernick walks it back to the side and she cannot be denied. Sam Pockernick wanted the bucket and ended up hustling to get it. She's got 10 points. Sorry, she's got 18.
She looks at the scoreboard and says, I'm gonna make some changes. Call me two Pockernick.
Oh. Substitutions are coming in for the Mohawk Mountaineers. I don't know if you want to be Tupac, though, in that instance.
I think you do when you're making behind the back shots. I don't think it matters who you are.
That's true. Mountaineers in the inbounds play. Pockernick handles it, swings it to Rymack. Back to Pockernick, over to O'Neal in the corner. Handled at the top by the Mountaineers. Drive, no good. Kusick sent back. And that's gonna be Hawks' possession.
With 6.5 minutes here, the Mountaineers have to be cognizant of how much time's left on the clock because they need to make every single possession count.
Nofuente got bumped, but she passes it to Domingo for the easy layup. Domingo and CJ Nofuente are looking like the duo to beat. On the court right now as Rymack handles the ball up the court.
Domingo's really coming to life here. The Mountaineers are gonna have to pay attention to her.
Pockernick, Rymack at the top of the key. Screen coming from Carter. Oh, and it looks like Domingo's gonna be hit with the call. A little bit of a push or a block there.
Oh yeah, she was not planted on that play, and Rymack saw it. She charged right into her, drawing that foul. Great play by Stephanie Rymack.
And on the other end, we see a little bit of the highlight there for Domingo's easy layup, and the combination of Domingo and Nofuente have been lethal for the Hawks today.
They can beat you on the outside, they can beat you down low. It really is a dynamic duo that they've put together. You throw in other threats like Leticia Lopez, and it's too much to handle.
Carter with the J, no good, but the rebound by Pockernick is no good off the attempt there. Tight defense is being played by Nofuente, and she's stripped. O'Neal goes up for the layup, and she's gonna get the foul off Oriwa in the full court press defense. Pays off for the Mohawk Mountaineers as they are headed to the line for the free throws.
What a play by Sam Pockernick, just picking the pocket and turning it back the other way, the behind the back pass. She has really, really come out to play here in the fourth quarter.
O'Neal missed the first. 72-55 is the score with 5:56 left in the quarter. Shannon O'Neal from Dundas, third year. Does not hit any of them as Nofuente grabs the board and brings the ball up the court. Oh, and an easy to call foul right there as O'Neal shoved Nofuente right down to the ground.
And it looked like Nofuente might have been looking for something else, wanted to exchange some words. She better keep things cool. She doesn't want to get a technical here, cost herself possession.
Substitutions coming in for the Mohawk Mountaineers. And we're going to take a quick look at that. Yep, easy bump right there. CJ's not happy with that call. Bayshard handles the inbounds and gets to Nofuente, who passes it to Ariwa and then over to Lopez. Lopez back to Nofuente with the easy drive up the lane. Stares down her defender who fouls her and makes her way to the free throw line.
And things are really starting to get chippy down there. Nobody is happy with what's going on. CJ Nofuente is going to the line, but still showing a little more emotion than we normally see.
CJ usually the cool and calm and collected. And she stays just as that as she hits the first one from the free throw line. 73-55 score. Ooh, air ball's the second one, calls it. That's going to be Mohawk possession after the air ball from Nofuente. Inbound here for Brown. Over to Rymack. Tight defense being played against Rymack. She takes the screen. And a foul is going to be charged again to the Humber Hawks after Kusik basically takes a barrel, is barreled through by a defender.
And I don't know if that was payback for earlier, but that was way off the ball. And again, you cannot let your emotions get the best of you. There's no point in taking a foul like that, especially when they're just in your zone. I mean, undisciplined.
Karina Brown subs in, so both Browns are in the game. Rymack handles it. Oh, Bayshard wanted the steal and fumbled it. Frustrated with that is Amber Bayshard, as she knew she had an easy steal there.
And she's had a couple of those tonight. She's been running one end to the other. She let that one get away, though.
Back and forth with the Browns, but they fumble it, and it's over. Turn to the Hawks as Nofuente dishes it to Lopez. Back to Nofuente, to Bayshard in the corner. Watch out for her, she's a threat. Not able to capitalize as Carter grabs the board and essentially falls over her own leg, unfortunately.
I think maybe it was a classic case of being a little messed up by that short shot from the corner.
Tried her best to get both hands on it, got it, and just costed her balance. Tip there from Pockernick after the inbounds play. Stays out of bounds, and it's going to be Hawks possession. Inbounded Nofuente. Oriwa to Bayshard in the corner. Watch out for her, she's a threat, but she's going to take it back to the real threat, CJ Nofuente. Into Semple. Semple's been playing good, and she shows that. She's keeping her hot streak up. Jill Semple's coming back to play.
An absolutely beautiful fake there to the right-hand side, move to the left, then goes bank, just like in the playground.
She did call bank, so it counts. Pockernick over to Brown. Over to Brown. To the interior, Pockernick goes back up again. No good. Oriwa handles the board. Mountaineers are playing full court defense as the Hawks get it up to Lopez, who gets it to Semple, and Semple drops it in. She's got 16, and majority of the Hawks starters are in double-digit scoring.
And Semple was looking for the foul there, thought that there was some contact, but the ref is not going to give it to her. It's Mohawk ball the other way.
Stephanie Rymack handling it. Gets it over to Carissa Brown. Over to Karina Brown, who drives the lane and gets the nice layup. Karina Brown. Nofuente brings the ball up the court. No sense of hesitancy there by the Hawks, and ooh! The dirty crossover by CJ Nofuente leaves the Mohawks defense split in half.
The crowd just loves it coming to their feet. I think they might have been faked out too on that pass. They were looking for her to finish the basket.
My goodness, what a crossover as Brown handles the ball in the corner. And it looks like an offensive foul is going to be charged to the Mountaineers. As Bayshard hit the deck hard.
And I think that was just frustration boiling over. It looked like John sent her to the deck, not liking the way the crowd reacted after that play by No Fuente, and I could see how that could be frustrating.
Substitutions came in for the Mountaineers as a timeout is called by the Mountaineers as well. Dutrazak makes her first appearance as well as O'Neill subs in, and my goodness, CJ Nofuente with the Jamal Crawford-esque crossover, sending half of the Mohawk team on the deck.
I haven't seen a play like that since I played like 2K10 maybe as a teenager. That was unbelievable. She took all the defenders to the right and then said, eat my dust, I'm going left.
My goodness, what a play. Mohawk struggling at 79-51. What can Mohawk do to dig themselves out of this hole?
I think that just sticking to the game plan that they drew up from the beginning, it's unfortunate. You can see Kevin Duffy's getting pretty upset with some of the non-calls or maybe what he feels have been non-calls. But when you set that tone for your team, I mean, you need to be the coach, you need to be the leader. It's gonna get them a little bit off their game as well, and if everybody can maybe calm down, swing the ball, keep it moving, and score some points, they can make it close here before the quarter's up.
Timeout's ending here as we're headed back into the action. Checking back that CJ Nofuente crossover, just left Carissa Brown in the dust. My goodness gracious, what a play.
I could watch that one all day long, Josh.
Hawks moving the ball around as Semple retains possession, gets over to Bayshard. She's been a threat, watch out for her. But she's gonna pass it to CJ, he's gonna pull up for Trey. Off shorts. Oh, but Semple fumbles for the board. And between a little scuffle, Bayshard ends up with the ball, but Semple's gonna get it back, pulls it for Jay, and Jill Semple, boom, shakalaka, she's on fire.
She is really looking like she's found her comfort zone out there. I think she's made her last 4 straight, and it doesn't look like that's gonna stop anytime soon.
Pockernick handles it. Swings it over to Dutrazak. Back over to Johns, over to Pockernick, to Dutrazak. Drive there, no good. Rebound there by the Hawks, bringing the ball up the court is Nofuente. Watch out, she's got 23. Lopez swings it to Bayshard, back over to Nofuente, who gets the lane and the layup, and the runner pops it up and in over the lucky bounce.
And you really have to be more aggressive when you see CJ Nofuente coming through there. You cannot just give her that lane. That's just a misfire on defense for Mohawk.
Substitutions coming in. Nofuente going to the bench. Boyington subbing in, and both Nofuente and Semple going to the bench, and Stephanie Entree and Boyington entering. Interesting call there by AJ Sharma. Pockernick brings the ball up the court. She's played well. She's got 18 in the game. O'Neill over to Brown. Over to Dutrazak. Back to Pockernick, who's gonna dry the lane. Scoop layup, and it's good. 83-59 is the score with 2:02 left in the fourth quarter as Lopez pushes the envelope coast to coast, gets it to Bayshard in the corner, who squares up and airballs it, no good, but Oriwa grabs it, so basically it was an alley-oop.
Oh yeah, I think that was definitely intended to be a pass. That's the way I saw it, right from the shot, I mean pass.
Dutrazak bringing the ball up the court. Swings it over to O'Neill. O'Neill tried to dish interior to Brown, and no good. Subs are coming on. Carter and Batnick sub in.
And it looks like Pockernick's going to be coming off the floor. I thought for sure she'd finish off the game out there. She's looked really, really great here in the second half.
Inbounded to Carter. Carter fumbles it and travels as a result. 83-59 with 140 left in the score, 140 left in the ball game. Lopez brings the ball up the court. Over to Oriwa. Boyington. Watch out for Anna Jacobs. Lopez gets it. The runner is good. 87-59 is the score.
And I mean, Mohawk put a lot of pressure on Lopez there. She just found a way to get it done. Full marks on both ends. I mean, most of the time that shot's not going in.
Good dish there to the interior, and Carter's gonna get the foul off of Anna Jacobs. Anna Jacobs raising her hand saying, come on, I didn't do that.
Cannot escape the all-seeing eye of these referees, Josh.
Apparently. Carter heading to the free throw line, the 6-footer. First year from Holland Landing. Hits the first one. 60-87's the score. And nails the second. Inbounded to Leticia Lopez. Over to Oriwa. Jacobs. Back to Lopez. Dish to Boyington. Oh, Boyington with a nice crossover. Pulls up for the J. No good. The scuffle ensues. And coming out of that with the hustle. Mohawk with the extra hustle. Dutrazak with the hustle, but no avail.
Full marks, though. I mean, 55 seconds left in a 26-point game, and they're still going to the floor hard like that. I mean, that is competitive nature.
Jacobs gets the ball. A give-and-go kind of action off the rim. No good as Dutrazak grabs the board. Oh, runs straight into Stephanie Entree. Wants the call and gets it. Entree formed the wall. And that's going to be the Hawks' 5th team foul, so Dutrazak's going to be headed to the free throw line. Dutrazak at the free throw line. 3rd year from Guelph. Sorry, from London, excuse me. Apparently I can't read. Desiree Dutrazak.
I mean, these parallel lines, they're hard to follow from one side of the sheet to the other.
They're kind of like blurred lines in my mind. Second one is good after missing the first. 62-87 is the score. 46 seconds left in the game as Leticia Lopez handles the ball up the court. Jacobs gets the dish. Dish to Lopez. Trey, no good. Fumbled out of bounds. Maybe it looks like it's going off Carter. And it is not going off Carter. It's going to be Mohawk possession. (87-82) with 30 seconds left in the game. As Mohawk is here to inbound. Substitution occurs for the Mountaineers. Looks like Carter may have been hurt on that play. Hopefully she's okay as Brown subs in. Dutrazak handling. Oh, passes the ball right into the hands of Stephanie Entree, and Entree takes it coast to coast and lays it in, makes it look easy.
And there's just no let up in these Hawks. I mean, they're up by a ton and there's not much time left, and Stephanie Entree is still intercepting passes and taking them the other way.
9 seconds left in the game. Brown driving, scooping, good. 64-89, these Mountaineers are not going down without a fight. As we're headed to the final buzzer, 89-64, the Hawks triumph, get win number 92 in a row, 26 consecutively at the house of the Hawks Nest. Triumphant effort there by the Mohawk Mountaineers, led by Sam Pockernick. Unfortunately, the dominance of CJ DeFuente, Jill Semple, and company were hard to beat.
What a game. I mean, I really can't say it enough. Both teams came out here to play. Like you said, Pockernick, Semple, CJ Nofuente, Ronick, they all had excellent games out there. Everybody should feel really good walking away from this one today.
This is going to be a great game tape for the Mohawk Mountaineers. They played a great game, played it close, kept the game close and tight for the first few quarters in the first half. For Josh Rawlings, myself, I'm Josh Rawlings, and for Stephen Boyles.
Hey, almost got it.
There we go. For Stephen Boyles, we're signing off, and we'll see you in a matter of minutes for the men's basketball game at the Hawks Nest. Thank you so much for joining us.